Hey, welcome to Live Makeup Tips with Kimmy J. I am Kimmy, as majority of you already know that, but this is just in case you share it with someone. So today's live session will be, I titled it, Finished. I don't even remember what I called it. Funny. But anyway, we're going to do a complete look. Okay, on last night I covered brows and lashes only, and tonight I'm bare with absolutely nothing on, all my pigmentation, my pimples, everything. And we're going to go from start to finish how I create a full face. I will provide names for every product. If you want it, let me know. I don't like to overshare, but I will name some of the products tonight as we're going along, because I want to teach you as like a girlfriend, not all the makeup artist lingo. So I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible, and let's go. So first of all, I've cleaned my face. I washed it with some facial cleanser. I have not moisturized or primed. So this is like me. This is me all day long, just dry. So I'm going to share with you what I do and why I do it. Okay. So number one, I cleaned my face with a facial cleanser, and then majority of the time I just use non-scented Dove soap to make sure that I get all the makeup residue that I may have had on from the day before. All right. So I'm an oily girl, super ooper duper oily girl, and it's a gift and it's a curse. It's a gift because oils and the humidity here in Texas helps our skin to keep its elasticity, meaning that we don't droop as much, still have some firmness and some tightness. Yes, it's DNA, yes, it's hereditary, but it also comes from skincare. So I've fallen off a little bit. I'm going to get back on my skincare regimen, but for right now, I just wash with a Clear Seal facial cleanser. I still use a little bit of Proactive or Dove soap. So again, because I'm an oily girl, moisturizers, some are oil free. I have a oil free acne control moisturizer, and it's by Clean and Clear. Doesn't cost me a whole bunch of money, and it works like a charm. Okay, and then you'll also learn as we go along that I love to patronize, first of all, African American companies, and then second of all, I like to compare the high-end things to the most affordable things on the market, because I just don't spend a lot of money on makeup. My personal kit, I invest into my professional kit. But anyway, back to the moisturizer. So even if you're oily, you have to moisturize, because the moisturizer helps balance how oily I get. So I'm going to oil regardless, but you still have to take care of your skin. And I believe that this one has SPF. I need to check the back, but also make sure you use SPF to kind of protect you from the UV rays and all that stuff that goes out with the sun. Okay, so this is how much I use, literally, because I don't like to feel a lot of lotiony like stuff on my face. I use just this much. That's it. I cleaned my hands before we started. I take it, no story, this is how I do it all the time, and I start here in my T-zones, because I get super oily in my T-zones and around my nose, and then I take the rest because there's still some on here, and then I just spread it out. I do not like a lot of moisturizer. I don't like the way it feels, okay? But I like to take care of my skin. So I'm rubbing it in, little force. Okay? A little pressure, I mean. And then after I moisturized, and you see it kind of took away a little bit of the shine, just a little bit. And then after I moisturize, I like to prime my face. I prime my face because number one, it helps the makeup, foundation or concealer and powder adhere to the skin better, and then it also serves as a protectant. It kind of covers like a base to protect your pores and stuff from getting clogged with the many various things we may pile on our face and all this gunk and stunk and stuff from the atmosphere. So I like to use a primer. So I have a few that I use, but we're going to talk about one today. So I shared with the other class, because I use it on my brows, Elf. I've been rocking with them for a long time when their brushes used to be $1. Okay, and this matte putty primer is the bomb. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about it. I like it. So if you're oily or not oily, whoops, it's a beautiful thing to use. It feels real smooth and velvety. I got a little discoloration in here, so I don't want y'all to see it, but yeah, it comes white. But when I put it on, it's not white. So I prime my face. I prime my entire face, but I like to make sure that I focus on my oily T-zones first. So this is me priming. I gotta tell y'all everything. We can't just go put makeup on our faces and not taking care of our skin. And I'm gonna get those lids, y'all. I have oily lids as well. So I take care of my T's. So all of this, my brows. And then I make sure I come up in that forehead real good. I'm not as concerned about my hairline. I like to comb my hair before I do my makeup so that I don't have the greasiness from the edge control or the wetness from the gel. And I'm literally just dabbing. Okay. Alright. So. And it feels like velvet. And it doesn't feel like it's drying out your face. Alright. Primer out the way. Now, I don't know how you do it, but I'm going to tell you how I do it. I like to start with my eyebrows first. Why? I just feel like the brows frames the face and get me ready for whatever type of look I'm going for. And I say that because sometimes I have this really natural brow where I just kind of fill in with my natural hairs. And no, they don't grow as thick as they used to. I messed them up quite a bit in life, but I'm trying to train them a little bit, and at least I have some, because I used to not have any. But sometimes I just fill it in and want to be natural, and then other times I want to have a little extra drama, so I'll get a little darker with my brow, mostly on the tips, and we'll go through that. But I start with my eyebrows. Some people start with foundation first and then layer powder here to protect from any eyeshadow fallout. I just don't do it like that. So you can continue to do your foundation first. It won't hurt anything. And I also like to make sure that when I do my brows, I don't have any foundation or anything that'll slide my pencil, because I don't use brow powder or pomades or anything slippery like a gel. I like to use a pencil. Okay, so I start with my brows, and so let's get it popping. All right. So first thing I do is I like to take a spoolie. And a spoolie is basically a mascara wand, okay? Or brow wand. I mean, eyelash wand. And I start by brushing my brows in the direction that they naturally grow. So believe it or not, even if you go and get your brows waxed and tailored, they're getting brushed in the direction that they grow before they're waxed, threaded, microbladed, whatever. Whenever you get your brows tamed, I know that they brush them. So that's the first thing I do, ladies, is brush my brows. If you're going along with me, brush your brows, girl. And if it's not a spoolie, just anything that has a brush. This little contraption here, I don't use it a lot unless I'm trying to declunk my eyelashes, because this little sharp part, it hurts. But anything that's like a brush, it could be a toothbrush, I don't care. Just brush your brows. Okay, so the inside of my brows grow up, so I'm going to brush them up. And then the outer parts of my brows grow down and out. So I'm going to brush out and I'm going to brush down. Okay, same thing. I'm going to brush up or out, and then I'm going to brush down. All right. All right. Now after I do that, I'm going to show you guys two different ways. I'm going to first draw one on with a pencil and then go under it and clean it with a concealer. No, I'm going to clean under with a foundation. Okay, and then the other one, I will start with a concealer under it and then fill it in with the pencil, because it's two different ways. Now I usually always just draw them bad boys on, but that's because I've been doing my own brows for a long time. Some people are not familiar with doing their own eyebrows, and hence that's the reason why you're tuning in to me. But I'm just going to show you an easy way in the way that I do mine. And a lot of people say they like my eyebrows, so I want to be very fluent in eyebrow lingo. So with this first eye, my right eye, maybe left to you, I am going to fill in. Now my technique with filling in brows is to, and I gotta be dramatic and show you guys this and just wipe it off. A mistake that a lot of ladies make is this. The hand is too heavy and the brows are drawn on. And then you see what that looks like. A mess. Okay? So, don't do that. Alright? So let me take it off. My little beauty blender. Alright. And then I'm just going to brush that brow back to where we had it. Alright. So my technique is a stroke. Okay? There's no need to be that forceful. I know that a lot of people's brows grow way thicker and fuller than mine. So some people don't even need to use the pencil. But I do. So I like to start where my eyebrows are the most sparse, where they look the thinnest, and then I build out. I've kind of trained my arch a little bit, so my eyebrows are now growing where they just naturally go. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So I take my pencil, and I like to start typically in the middle, but wherever you start is fine. And I'm doing hair-like strokes, literally following my hairs that I have on my brows. Okay. Now the question is usually asked like, well, how do you know where to start and where to stop? Most naturally, I like to start and match my tear duct. And I don't like to go extended from the corner of my eye. Every now and again, I'll get a little adventurous and I'll go a little further, but don't do that. So, I'm adding my little hair-like strokes. And I'll show you how if you get out of line and clean up, because I've actually just cleaned up. And again, another thing, when I add my hair-like strokes, I like to start. I usually start, and for teaching purposes, I usually start here. But to make it easier, start here on the bottom. It's kind of like you're creating where you want your arch to be, or how high you want your arch to be. And I'll start on the bottom with the opposite eye. So I'm sorry for getting ahead of myself, but I have to remember that I'm teaching someone else. But I've already got this brow on, so I did my hair-like strokes. And then when I come inside to the inner part, I take my pencil and I stroke up. Why? Because my hairs grow up in this part. Now, I'm not a boxy brow type girl. I do whatever my hair wants to do. So I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but that's a light fill in. Okay? So I told you that I'm going to show you how to clean it up, and I'm going to clean it up on this side with the foundation. Now, I recommend cleaning up with a foundation when you are unsure of how to blend your concealer, because concealers are, when you use something to highlight, the concealers are about 1 or 2 shades lighter than your normal foundation. But what you don't want to do is put too much concealer and then it's like super bright on the bottom or the top of your eye. Okay, so to be safe, just clean up with your foundation. And when I say clean up, I mean find your brush that's tapered a bit. It can be big, but long as it has edges that are kind of on the same wavelength. So when you clean up, it can make it really precise, okay? I don't know. This is a Wet n Wild brush, okay? So I'm sure I didn't pay more than like $4 for it. But it's a synthetic brush, and I'll show you the difference between the synthetic ones and then like the hairy ones, okay? So I messed up just a little bit. Not even enough for you to notice, but I'm going to show you how cleaned up it is when you go over it with your concealer. Okay, so when you clean up with foundation, I'm cleaning up with foundation first. When you clean up with your foundation, you can most definitely clean up the entire brow. Okay, you can go all the way into the inner brow with foundation. When doing it with concealer, it doesn't look natural. I would never go all the way when I do my concealer. And I'm going to show you on the other brow what I'm talking about, and it will blend it out. So this is me cleaning up with the foundation. I do not clean up the top of my brows with concealer. Because again, I don't know if you ladies have ever seen someone with the halo brow. Everything about their face looks amazing, but their brows just look like pow because it's so white up top and white under it. Just to avoid it, just don't do it. I mean, unless you're just like a master blender. And I understand why, because I've seen people highlight their entire forehead from brow to brow. But that's when you've practiced a lot and you know how to blend it. But for safe keeps, if you want to clean up, if you make a mess, just do it with foundation, okay? And I'll also show you how I do it with the foundation. So, I messed up just a little bit. Again, not enough to notice. But I'm going to clean it up anyway because I'm showing you. And then I just blend it in. Now another thing, ladies, and you'll see as we go along, I don't use more than what I need. I don't believe in cake face. I don't believe in piling a bunch of product on if you don't need it. I personally don't like the way it feels. Majority of my clients don't like the way it feels either. And that's why I attract the clientele that I do, because they say, Kimmy, look, I want to look natural, but I want to feel natural. So if you got to scratch your face like this, you probably got on too much makeup. But I mean, you ought to be able to say and touch your hand and not have a bunch of buildup under your nail. So a dab will do. With makeup, a little bit will take you a real long way if you blend it out. Okay, so I've already done this eye, just a little bit of foundation. I've blended it out. And I've done the top, and I've done the inside. Y'all see the difference? Okay. Now I'm going to go into this one. And remember, I'm going to fill this brow, but I'm going to clean it up under with the concealer. So you'll see the contrast, the lightness in the concealer. All right? And I'm going to do it just a little bit quicker. And I hope y'all are going along with me. I just broke my own rule. So let me do what I said I was going to do. I'm going to start on the bottom for teaching purposes. I'm going to start on the bottom so you guys can see how much easier it is when you do it on the bottom versus trying to start anywhere like me, okay? So I'm going to go on the bottom. And I start right here in the center. Because again, I'm just manipulating my arch. Okay? You can already see it a little bit. I'm going to go out to the end on the bottom. And then I'm going to come in the inside because I'm a little sparse there. Okay. And then I'm going to go a little bit on top because I don't know if I nicked it and cut this hair off or if that hair wasn't there before I cleaned them up. But either way, I need to add it. Okay. And now I'm going to go in the inside. Right up in there where I'm a little sparse. Now, ladies, brows are best friends and they are sisters, but they are not identical twins. So, if you cannot get your brows the exact same all the time, just try to get them as close to, each other as possible, but don't stress about them being the same. Nobody's eyebrows grow the exact same. Nobody. Believe me when I tell you, nobody. All right. Now I'm going to take my spoolie again because I had to really get in with the pencil here. I don't grow a lot of hair on this one. And I'm going to take my spoolie and just brush my brows because what it's doing is brushing them back up so I can make sure that they're filled, but it's also moving the product along, okay? And the product is just the pencil, which, by the way, guys, was 74 cents, okay? My brown pencil came from Walmart. It is a Wet n Wild pencil. And I'm glad I got out of lines with this because I can show you how I cleaned it up. All right. Let me put this top back on this foundation real quick before I drop it. Okay. So, let's talk about this concealer real quick. This concealer, and concealer is foundation. It's just heavier. Okay. This is by e.l.f. as well. Eyes, lips, face is what e.l.f. stands for. Yeah, it's about $6. I saw one of my favorite brand ambassadors. She was doing a review on this, and she said, hey, check it out, it's worth it. And so I did, and oh my god, when I tell you that coverage is amazing, you're about to see. Okay, so let's clean up this brow real quick. Now remember, this side was with foundation. You don't see a major highlight here, but the brow looks really clean and tailored. Okay, this brow, I started under the bottom, filled it in with the pencil. We're going to clean it up under the bottom with a little bit of concealer. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I most definitely got out of line here. So we're going to clean it up, okay? All right, so here we go. I'm going to start here. Now remember I told you when it comes to concealer, do not go all the way over here. It looks really unnatural. So I'm going to show you how I clean it up with the foundation as well to keep it natural. Now, in a normal instance, if I was just doing myself, I would drag the concealer all the way down because I would be doing eyeshadow. But today, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to show you how I prime my eye for eyeshadow, okay? So, I put too much product on it, so I'm going to take it and wipe a little bit off. And you see how it arched it under the bottom? See the difference in how light it is here than it is over here? Okay, so now I'm going to take this same brush, same concealer brush, and I'm going to blend it out. If you don't want to use this brush, you can get any kind of eyeshadow brush and blend it out as well. So I'm going to blend, 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 blend. It is never anything wrong with taking time to really, really, really press product into the skin. Okay. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to get a powder brush, or eyeshadow brush rather, and I'm going to dab over it. Let me see if I have one I like. Ooh, I left all my good brushes in the bathroom. Okay, I'll use this one. Yeah, and I'm just going to go back over it, just flattening that product into the skin. When people see you and they see your makeup done, you don't want them to say, "Ooh, your makeup pretty." You want them to say, "Ooh, you look beautiful." Child. Okay, see how it's lighter a little bit? And again, I messed up right here. So, remember I said to never go into the inner, under the brow with concealer, but clean up with the foundation. I'm telling you, I'm going to just show you, okay? Can I do that? I want to show y'all. It looks like really weird. And it really looks weird when you get ready to do your eyeshadow and blend your eyeshadow. So I'm going to go all the way over. And then I'm going to blend it. I don't know if you can see it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Trust me. You could do it at home and try it and you'll see what I'm talking about. It just doesn't translate well. So I'm going to take my foundation and go back over it to get it back to my skin tone. And also clean up what I messed up. And then I kept telling you guys that I messed up top. So I'm going to take my foundation and go up top. And I'm going to clean it. And I don't know if y'all can tell. First of all, my face is like horribly proportioned. Like, or portioned. It's just symmetrically all wrong. Okay? And I think that's what makes me a little unique. My eyes, like, it's another story. But anyway, I'm going to go up top. And I'm going to clean up. And be very, very, very gentle. Because you can wipe that brow off. And you may have to start over if you don't have full brows already. Like me. My brows are they just don't grow full anymore. Okay. I have an 18-year-old on here. Baby, take care of your brows. Don't ever let anybody try to thin them out. Take care of them. You don't need them. Okay. So I hope that y'all can tell the difference in the foundation brow and a concealer cleaned up brow. And remember, when you clean up the top of your brows, just be safe and use foundation so that you don't have the halo brow. Okay? Y'all ready to move on to something next? Something new? Alright, let's get it. Okay, so after I complete my brows, Then I do my eyeshadow. Why? I do my eyeshadow, and let me be clear, the brows aren't complete because I have another step that I do to kind of finish them off, but we don't want to do that yet because we're not there. So I move on to my eyeshadow. I move on to my eyeshadow because, again, I don't like fallout. When fallout falls from the eyelids down on the face and then you have to brush it away. Nah. So to avoid that, I just do my shadow before, and then that way I can clean it up if need be. So before I put my eyeshadow on, I like to base my lids. Everyone doesn't own an eyeshadow base, and that's okay. You can most definitely base your lids with a concealer. The reason we base our lids is because if we don't and we just apply eyeshadow, it doesn't show up as much and it won't adhere to the skin. So you'll think you're doing like the best eyeshadow application, and it could be bomb, pigmented eyeshadow and everything's in place. And then later on, it's kind of disappeared. That's because you had nothing to hold it in place, okay? So I'm going to use concealer. I'm going to use concealer because, again, everyone may not have eyeshadow base. So we're not going to use something that everybody may not have. And if you don't have concealer, then just use a dab of your foundation today, okay? That's if you're going along with me. So the concealer I'm going to use for my lids, I'm going to use the e.l.f. one again. I just touched my black opal, but I don't want it to be dark because I want you to see what I do when I blend in the shadow, okay? And I'm going to do a really basic eyeshadow look. I really don't like eyeshadow. I've been playing in it a lot lately on Facebook, showing out, but I'm not an eyeshadow girl, okay? All right. So I'm going to put a little bit on my finger. You can use a brush. I'm not against brushes. It just helps me move a lot faster, okay? And I'm going to use brushes to do the shadow. So I put it on my lid. I go all the way in the tear duct. And I blend it out. Doesn't have to be super, ooper, duper heavy. We're not doing a cut crease today. I'm not against the cut crease phenomenon. I do it on my own sometimes, but not today. And then let's talk about unhooded and hooded eyes. I don't have a hood, and that's when you have that extra piece of skin that kind of hangs over there. I don't have it. But this technique that I'm about to show you with this quick eyeshadow demonstration, it can serve on any eye. Hooded, big eyes, small eyes, people with creases, people without them. Okay. So I just blended it over the entire lid. I don't have to go all the way to the top near the brow because we've already cleaned up with foundation and concealer. And excuse me, ladies, I see something wrong with this brow over here, so I'm just going to clean it up with the residual product. And it's still different. It always is. Okay, so today's palette, I was going to use crayon case, but I just would want to have too much fun with that one because it's so pigmented and pretty. Today I'm going to use a palette by Morphe. I think it's the 35N. This used to be in my professional kit, so it's kind of beat up. And 35 is the number. I don't know why, but the N, they say it's neutral palette. It's a lot of soft taupes and pinks. It's a few purples and browns, and at the end it's blacks. I have either abused or dropped these colors here. But you can tell the ones that I favor. These are the ones that I love, okay? So today we're going to do kind of a neutral eye. Let me call it that, okay? So the brush I'm going to use, and Morphe palettes are about $27 to $30. Just depends on where you're getting it from, okay? So I'm going to use this brush. I don't have a name for this brush. It isn't by a high-priced brush company. It is a Sonia Kashuk. She comes from Target, I believe. Don't even know how long ago I bought it. I've super glued it to stay. But I'm going to grab this brush and I'm going to go with a brown, okay? I typically start with, you turned around to see it. Okay, I'd like to start with colors that are not too far from my skin tone when I do my crease. So like, for me, it would be like a peanut butter. If you were light skin, it would be like a caramel. Yeah, or honey. Okay. I take my fluffy brush. And I think this brush is called a blending brush, I believe. But don't quote me, okay? Just get your brush that's kind of fluffy and not flat. And I like to take it and dip it where it looks like you're sticking it on top of your eyeball. And I do that because I don't have a crease. And I work it back and forth in this, it's like a dent in between your eyeball and this bone here, your brow bone. Okay. And if I'm going too fast, I'm going to slow it down. And I just blend it. Okay. I think we're going to use about 3 colors. Real simple. Okay. And I blend it. And I blend it. Same thing. Dip it in here. And I blend it. Even if you have like big lids, find that crease and blend it. Okay. And when I swirl it around in my powder, I literally do me a swirl. I usually don't get excess, but if you do, just go. Saw that? Okay. I did that for y'all. Okay. And I blend, and I blend, and I blend, and I blend. And I'm working it all the way from the end to the inner corner. And I call this a transition color because it literally separates the bottom lid from what goes on in the highlight area. Okay. We're going to come just a little bit closer so that you can see I didn't do anything too major. Just a soft brown. Okay. I'm generally not a color girl. I've just been playing in them. Today, for the sake of teaching, I'm going to go with purple. I'm going to go with purple so you guys can see it. I didn't want to do anything too soft and it didn't transfer to the camera. But before I move on to the purple, I find me a darker brown. So I'm going to go here to one that looks sort of like chocolate. I'm using the same brush because when I used it, I basically applied all of the product from my brush onto my lids. Same thing, repeat it. Okay. I find that little crease part and I work this back and forth, blending it in. Just working it in with the chocolate. And I think I spent so much time on the brows because so many people are concerned about brows. They're like, all that other stuff cute, Kimmy, but how I put these brows on. And I think blending out the foundation is another important tool. So I'm about to get to that. So again, just blending it out, inner to the outer, inner to the outer, inner to the outer, inner to the outer. Okay. Okay. You can see it got a little bit darker, just a little bit. And then I like to take the same brush, okay? I go back to the first color, which I call the transition, kind of soft one. And I go right above the crease area. So we started with the softer color, kind of went on top of it and doubled up with the darker brown. And then I go right above it. So not quite into the brow highlight area, but right above the crease. And I blend that out so that you don't tell the separation from the, where you didn't put the eyeshadow and then where the eyeshadow started. And if y'all could tell, I'm being very gentle. You don't have to be forceful with your hand. And I'm just blending it out. Circular motions and back and forths. Okay. And now for the lid. If y'all can see how blended that is. For the lid, I sometimes go back and put a little extra concealer just to really adhere the color. I'm going to do it for one eye and then I won't for the other. So for this one, I'm going to add a little more concealer. And depending on what kind of eye you're trying to create, you can prime with eye primer or with concealer the entire eye from the tear duct to the end. But because of the shape of my eyes, I go within the tear duct and I stop right before the end. Just to give my eyes some sort of a shape or crease because I don't naturally have one. So again, I'm not teaching you how to do a cut crease or anything, but I do take it from the lash line. I don't go all the way to the end, and then I still do apply up to that crease where we started. I do not cross my lid shadows over this crease. I don't care what kind of day it is, sunny, rainy, or gray. I just don't go over that line. Okay. So I'm gonna take a flatter brush. I really bought like all my brushes in here. All my personal brushes. Okay. I think I could dig this one. No, it's a few missing. Because it's one that I adore. But it's not in here. So boo. So this one is a little flatter. Now, it has a itty little bit of fluff to it. If I do it like this, you can see just a little bit of fluff. And this is not a synthetic brush. This is one of the ones with the hairs. But I can lay it flat. So this is what I'm going to use to do the lid color. And I told you I was going to do purple. I think we're going to do this purple over here because I think it'll show up. Okay. And you want to put the purple. See her. She might not be light enough. You want to put the purple all over the concealer. Uh-oh, she got a little smoke to her. Okay. I could dig it. So it's like a purple smoky. Because you do know that you can smoke with any color, right? Whether it's dark green, hunter green, evergreen, purples. I've had someone even get like a sunset type eye with this really deep orange. And then the smoking part comes when you color out the end. So smoke doesn't necessarily translate to being gray or black. It's how you transition the outside of the eye. But anyway, let's focus on this. So I'm putting the purple. And remember, I do not go above my crease. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other eye. And I did not add the extra. Okay. But I want to show you that if you do or you don't, it can make the difference with how bold colors are sometimes. And Morphe is a really super pigmented, affordable eyeshadow. I like it. Okay, I almost went above that crease, y'all. I'm sorry. And I like to come in the tear ducts, just depending on how I feel. Okay. All right. Now I got that purple laid. You see the transition kind of already naturally happened from the purple to the brown. It doesn't look like purple, stop, brown, stop. Okay. Now I'm going to take that same fluffy brush and I'm going to go to a color that's a little darker. So I don't know if this is brown or if it's dark purple. I'm not sure what it is, but it's darker than the color I started with in my crease. It's darker than that chocolate that I did to deepen the crease. And it's most definitely darker than my purple. I told y'all 3 colors. We're going to use 4. Okay. And I only go to the outside. That gives it a dimension on the outside. Every now and again, I will dab with a little bit of black. Just because I really want it to be deep. After I dab it on the outside, I pray that y'all can see this transition. After I dab it on the outside and just really just dabbing it in, getting it into the skin, I take it over just midways. Just midways. Alright, girl. We're going to do the other side. Dab, 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 dab. And again, if you want the colors to show up and just be like really super duper bold, just add extra product to the eye. Whether it's your eye primer or your concealer. Either one will work. But the thing about the eye primers, some of them don't stay creamy. So you don't have to really work them in as much as I had to work in the concealer. They'll start drying on you real quick. Okay. I think I like that purple. Okay. I'm going to do the same over here just because I want it to be a little more defined. Alright. And now because I've added this darker color in the crease and got this brush all dirty, I'm not going to use it again. But you can find one like it, or I'm going to use it again. I'm going to show you how I dust it off. I have a napkin right here. Usually I have a wipe that I've let kind of sit out and get a little dry. But you could literally just take it. And they have contraptions that help you clean your brushes in between. But you see, I just took the product off. Okay, so I'm going to use it. Okay, I'm not applying anything else to it. I'm just going to blend that purple up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to leave that eyeshadow alone. Okay. Next, I do my eyeliner. I'm a liquid eyeliner girl. I'm going to try and tell you how to do it as simple as, simplest way as possible. You do not always need eyeliner, though, to go with your look. Sometimes I just pop on my lash and it just gives me what I need, okay? So I'm going to do one eye with, one eye without. The easiest way I can tell you to start with liquid liner is to tell you how to start with the powder one first. And I'm only doing this for you guys. I don't use pencil liners on the top of my eye ever. I always use liquid on top. But this pencil probably came from my mother-in-law from a department store. Okay. I'm just going to line the lash line. And I am a wing liner girl, but I won't give y'all a nasty wing tonight. I'm just going to show you how to do, a nice Sunday morning church wing. And when I line, I do go all the way into the tear duct. And I just cannot get with lining with this pencil. So I'm going to show you how to do with the liquid. Okay. I always start in the middle. I gain control in the middle. And I follow my lash line. I'm not going to do it thick or long tonight. So I follow my lash line, and then when I get to the end, I usually don't stop, but the easiest way is to stop, assess, and then come back and drag where you want your liner to be really lightly. And once you shape it out for your wing, you could always just go back over it and define it. Okay. So I'm going to just do this one eye with liner. All right. Now let's move on to lashes. Because I want to show you the difference. I want to show you how liner can make a difference, but it doesn't make a huge difference unless you go really, really heavy with it. So again, with the liquid liner, be careful. Practice at your own risk. This one came from, y'all ready? Dollar Tree. For $1. It's LA Girls. And I like it because I like the precision on the brush. Now for my professional clients, it's in Glot, and I have another one that I like to use, and those come in like gels and cute little jars. And then I just take brushes out of old eyeliners, clean them up, and use those. But it's all about the brush for me. I don't know if I'm in love with the liner yet, but it's cool. It's cool. All right. So now let's talk about these lashes real quick. I don't mind 25 milliliter mink lashes. I have a couple pair. But I am a Beauty Supply $1.49 girl. Like, they don't mistreat me at all. I'm going to put on a pair of Wispies. I put them on last night, and I clean off the glue, and I put them back in their cases, and I will repeat them quite a few times until I'm ready to move on to some more. I even double lashes. I'll do a wispy and then put a demi wispy, which is the wispy little sister, on top. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how I do these lashes. Now, if you are new to lashes, I would ask that you be very careful, but don't be afraid. Okay, it's an art to the lashes. You just have to take your time. Okay. Always start by removing your lashes gently. Mine were already removed from last night, but they already come with a thin adhesive on them. So you just need to slide them with your finger or pick them up with a pair of tweezers, okay? Always try your lashes on before you get ready to commit with the glue, because sometimes lashes are too long for our eyes, okay? I like to use hypoallergenic glue. I usually like Duo or a glue called Beso, but I'm using iEnvy tonight because the beauty supplies are closed, and Duo is like almost $6 in the store. And who doing that? So I use a dab of glue, and I use it right up here because that's all I need. And even if a client says, I want my lashes to stay on for 2 days, I don't use a lot of glue. I use a little more than that, but I like to apply the glue and let it sit on the lash, and then apply a little more and let it kind of dry a bit before putting them on. And I do that because when it's tacky, you have better control, and when it's wet and it sits on your lash, you start having a blinking attack. I know I do, okay? And so I take that little bit of glue and I dab it. And yes, I'm using the tip of my brush, or I use the nose of the glue. And I literally just trace thinly across the lash. Okay. And I'm going to do both for time's sake. And always put your lashes back where they belong on the tray so that you don't get them mixed up, because I've done that before and was walking around with my eyelashes on backwards. And nobody else knew. It was actually kind of cute. But when I noticed, it kind of gave me anxiety because I knew. So I put a little bit of glue. And then I set the second lash down. And I think about 10 to 12 seconds to let it dry is enough time. And if you pick it up and you see that it's still too wet, just fan it. If you're putting it on your own eyes, blow it. If you put it on somebody else's eyes, don't. It's unsanitary. So I usually don't need to use my tweezers because I just put them on with my hands. But for teaching's sake, grab your lash with your tweezer and really get that thing secured with your tweezer, okay? I'm going to start with this eye. I had someone tell me in my class, from my class last night, she's like, Kimmy, I just can't put those lashes on like you do it. But, excuse me, ladies. The easiest way for me to do it is to set the lash in the middle. Okay? I set it in the middle. She said, not tonight, y'all. My lash trying to come off. I set it down. Get on the lash line. And I put it right above the lash hairs, directly on the lash line. It's sitting. See, it's not moving. And to put it in position, once it gets sitting, it's easier to slide it where you need it to be. Okay? And once I slide it to where I need it to be, I take the back of the tweezer and I press it up against the line. I'm just making sure she's secure. Okay? All my products and stuff are she's. Let's do it again on this other eye. Take the lash. Set it in the middle. Get it secured in the middle. Then I can pull anywhere else I need it to be. Now the thing about clear glue, when you use clear glue, or it's white, it comes out white, is if you're not careful, it will dry white. I like the darker glue just a little better because when it dries, it kind of looks like eyeliner. But if you make a big mess with your glue, always let it dry before you try to move it, okay? It keeps you from messing up your makeup, especially your eyeshadow. Okay, they're on, and they're actually very comfortable. So I'm going to press it. Press them down to make sure they're there. And another thing to make your lashes feel comfortable is to take them and squeeze them. They just feel good. Do I use mascara on my lashes? Yes. Only when it just seems like my lashes are acting crazy and don't want to adhere to them. I'm not against eyelash curling before or after lashes. I just don't have to. But if your lashes grow straight, by all means, please do. And so now you can see the difference with eyeliner and no eyeliner. I hope that was simple to understand because we're about to move on to foundation. Alright? Okay. So, foundation. This won't be a hard thing at all. Today I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Matte. And it says it's poreless, but I still see my pores, okay? I like this foundation because it does matte, but it gives me full coverage for a little bit. So let's talk about that. Again, I do not have anything wrong with MAC. I don't have anything wrong with NARS and all these big names. But I've done a lot of research, and research shows that we have about 3 to 4 makeup distribution companies in the United States, okay? Let's just say everywhere. Everywhere in the world, we have like 4. And, sorry, it was a little sticky. The same building on the same machines that make the $65 makeup also makes my $8 makeup. So what I do is I buy product, of course, because I invest in my kit more than I invest in my own. And I just turn it over and I read the labels. And I match to see if they have the same thing. And lo and behold, honey, it's the same exact stuff. The same exact numbers with the ingredients. Everything is pretty much the same. And so I will try it, and I don't try things on clients first before I try them on myself. And so I don't have any of this in my kit, but I like it for me, okay? And so this is what I'm going to use. So whatever you use, hey, it's fine. But I typically like to use this brand for myself, and I also like to use Black Opal. I tried Black Radiance, and for some reason I just can't ever find my color to get it right. But Black Opal as well, because I like to support African American companies. Okay. Now, what you apply your foundation on with makes a world of difference. I know people that do it with their finger. To each their own. Sometimes I use this brush, which is very heavily stained because I use my brown makeup. And it's a stipple brush. I think this one came from the beauty supply for like $6. Or I use cosmetic wedges. I swear I haven't used it yet. It just rubbed up against my makeup. And then I've fallen in love with my beauty blender. And I think I got this pack. Beauty blenders can get expensive. And some of them you buy in the stores are hard. But these feel almost identical to the $20 beauty blenders. And I got them from At Home. Like on the way to the cash register for like $5. And I got like 12 of them. So I keep all the darker ones and I throw the lighter ones away. Or I give them to Liberty to practice her makeup. Okay. So the way I put my makeup on the sponge is I usually don't. I do take my hand and I turn it up, and I feel like I'm wasting it when I put it on my sponge. So I take my finger, I turn up the bottom, and I just kind of rub some on. Okay. I am about not applying a lot of makeup. A little bit will take me a long way. And I can't control how much comes out of here because it's not a squirt nozzle. For the squirt ones, you can just squirt, but I still don't like to put it on the sponge because I feel like it sucks it up too fast. So I just put it on my fingers. So I rub a little bit. No specific formation, okay? I'm just doing my cheeks. I'm making sure I cover up under my nose. I do my chin and my forehead, okay? So this is just me rubbing off what's left because I don't like to waste product. And we're going to blend out this. And if I need more, I add more. If you need more, you add more. Another beautiful thing about this is it covers up my, my pigmentation. So, let's get it. So my brush is already pre-wet. It's dried a little bit, but I wet it. And I wet it just to thin out the product and just blend it. Some days I won't. If I know I'm going to go somewhere where I may be outdoors, or like if I go to the escape room and I'm going to be under pressure and I want a full coverage, I won't wet my sponge. I'll do it dry. And it doesn't feel as good, but it still works the same if I don't want to use the stipple brush. And so as a matter of fact, I'll do this side with the beauty blender and I'll stipple this side so you can see. Okay. And with the beauty blender, you do a pouncing motion. See? It's working the foundation into your skin. And I am covering my entire face all the way to my ear. And then I go down And sometimes I will do my neck, depending on what I'm wearing or where I'm going. But we're going to focus on the face. And then if you get ready to go out and you want to do your neck, do it with powder so you don't get foundation all over your clothes. Okay. So I'm just blending. Now I'm not, if you can tell, so much worried about this area because I'm going to go over that with the concealer to show you how to highlight that area. So I'm blending. And I'm going to come here. And I'm going to blend. And you can see my face turning color. And I'll do my chin. And so I'm like, pump, 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 pump. Okay? I'm not doing any dragging. This little ugly pimple here is just really throwing shade on my parade. Okay? And let's do this side of my forehead. Pounce, 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 pounce. Okay? And it literally, it's called a beauty blender because it literally blends. Okay? And I'm going up to the hairline. You don't have to. I'm just doing it because I put it there. Okay? And on this side, I'm going to stipple. Cover that ugly bump that I have there. And even with my stipple, you see I'm working it in, I'm not dragging product. Work, 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 work. And I'm going to go over my nose last. If you know me, you know I have freckles now. I didn't always have them. And I like them. So I don't like to cover them up a whole lot. And y'all, this new mark here kills me. I don't know if it's a mole, a freckle, or what, but it is just killing me. So I'm going to come in a little bit where you can see how I blended everything except for my freckles. I have them all up here too, and all over my nose. Okay. And now that I feel like my foundation is in, like I didn't even go over. Y'all see, I didn't even add any more foundation. I like that coverage. I don't want any more, okay? So, I'll blend it out. And I'm going to take the concealer now. So remember, your concealer needs to be a shade or two lighter than you, all right? I'm going to do my e.l.f. concealer. And all the beauty vlog girls do this. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Watch this. Boop, 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 boop. Or they draw like a triangle and then they come here and they do that. We ain't doing all that, okay? I get that brush that I had earlier and I was doing my brows with. Okay. I'm wiping a little bit of that foundation off when we clean the brow. And I take it and I just do this because remember I told you I'm very, very product conscious. Like you just don't need a lot. You don't. If you want it, cool. You don't need it, okay? So I take it and I come right up under my eye where this do this one, where the indention kind of starts under the eye. We call them bags. I call them just eye skin, under eye skin, okay? And I start there. Why? Because it's easier and it saves my product, okay? I also do take concealer and put it on my forehead because this is also going into our highlighting. So we're not concealing anything. We're not hiding anything. We put our foundation on and we good. So I go right here in the center of my head. Again, the beauty bloggers go bloop, bloop, bloop. We don't have to draw anything and be tribal. I also come down here on the chin because understand, when you're highlighting, you are popping features. When you contour, you are hiding them or making things appear smaller, if that makes sense. So highlighting is making it say highlight, boom, contouring, take it down. Okay. So I'm going to do that a little bit. Every now and again, I'll go up my nose because remember, I don't put foundation on my nose. You can put it on yours because if you don't, it'll make your skin look a different color. I'm going to fix my color with the pencil. With the powder. Okay. So Now that you have the concealer in the middle of your forehead and under your eye and on your chin, it is up to you. Everyone isn't a different color around their mouth. Not everybody. I have clients who are not, but I am. Okay? So I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to put it there. And then you can see me blend it out if you have to do the same. So right here in the corner. And right here in the corner. And I was told the other day that this part was a really nice part on my face. I never paid attention to it, but I do, however, see different makeup artists put concealer there and make it pop out, these two little points above my lip. So anyway, let's go to it. Let's get to it, ladies. Let's get to it. So we're going to blend out with the same beauty blender, or if you were using your brush, we're going to blend that up as close to your bottom lash line as you could get it. And I'm still pouncing. Pounce, 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 pounce. Pounce, 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 pounce. And you are blending it into that foundation, but you are not going past the top of your cheekbone. So my cheekbone starts here. Don't blend your concealer past the top. You'll see why in a minute. I'm going a little longer than I thought I would, but it's like you can't rush teaching, you know? We're almost there. Okay. All right. So I didn't go past it. My blender is here, but I'm not going past my cheek. And I'm going to do the same thing with the forehead. Being very careful not to mess up that brow because we haven't set it yet. And then I'm going to come and do it around my mouth. I feel like I should have did a even lighter concealer so y'all could totally see the difference. But, man, I can. I even have moles on chin. Good Lord Almighty. All right. And then I didn't forget about my nose. Now, with your concealer, if you do your concealer and you blend it out and you still don't feel like you have adequate coverage, it ain't nothing wrong with putting a little more. And I'm going to show you. I got to blend my mouth again too. So I'm going to use this time just for time's sake. And I kind of want you to see what that does. And remember, I didn't do a crazy shape. I just went on top of that little crease up under my eye. Okay. And I blended it out. And no, I did not pass the top of my cheek. All right. Okay. And with this beauty blender, child, you could turn this thing all over. You could squeeze it. Y'all gonna see me do all kinds of stuff with this thing before we finish this session. All right. Now, immediately after I do that, I don't know if you can see that there is a darker part of my face here. My natural cheekbone area. If you're doing your makeup with me, look at yourself and see if you see that darker area. Because that part of your face, right under that bone and a little bit on top, is where we're going to add our contour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set one side of my face, because that's typically what we do after we do our highlighter. You want to set your face. You want to set that highlighter so you can get it there and it doesn't move. So that's concealer. I'm sorry. You're going to set the concealer as you highlight. So I'm going to set it on one side, and on the other side, I'm going to not set it and add a cream contour. So this side that I'm about to set it, I'm going to do a powder contour. The other side, I'm going to do a cream, because I have to be versatile. I have to show you how we do both. So I'm going to take my beauty blender. I have some no color powder. You can use your banana powders, Sasha Buttercups, any kind of translucent or setting powder. You can use it. This one is by RCMA, which stands for the Research Council of Makeup Artists. It's a makeup artist thing. It's a makeup artist powder. It's not that expensive, and you can buy it too. It's a store here in Houston. Remind me to tell you about it, and I will. But I just put a little bit in my hand. And then I'm going to take it and apply it right up under that eye to set that cream in place. Okay. Some people call this baking. Okay. So you're going to bake that concealer there so that highlighter doesn't move. Or concealer, which serves as your highlight. Y'all help me. And another thing I like to do now is take whatever you're using. And in this case, if you are here, you would not use your stipple anymore. You would find a brush equivalent. Okay. And here's one. I got this one from Elf too. I think this one may have been about $3 or $6. So I'll show you how to use this brush on the other side. Okay. So you take this powder, and I also come on the side of my nose. I try to be precise as I can. Okay. And you'll see why we're doing the side of the nose in just a second. You don't have to pile this up. You can just put a light application of it. And then I'm going to go up above my brow as well because I'm super shiny there. I told y'all I'm an oily girl. So I'm going to just set it here. You see, it just took the oil away. Okay. Now, on this side, I'm going to do a powder contour. I have a mineral finish powder by Ruby Kisses. Don't sleep on Ruby Kisses, baby. Ruby Kisses, I started with them too when I first started doing makeup. Because again, I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have any clients. I was just trying out stuff. Ruby Kisses is another company that has formulated their makeup to run with the big dogs, okay? I might spend $5 or $6 on these in the beauty supply. No joke. I turned my mama on to them. The powders by themselves are boom, okay? You don't even need foundation when you use their powders. So I'm going to take a blush brush because I like to contour with a blush brush. For you, it can be an angled brush. It can be a smaller powder brush. Just a brush that's small that won't take up a whole bunch of your face. And I'm going to turn to the side so you can check it out. And I'm going to go, let me see if I can do it. So, and I know y'all can see it's like I have a natural contour line already. You can smile and find yours, or you could just take your brush or your finger and find it. Okay. When I contour, I like to start here, right there, like basically on the top of that bone, and I like to drag it down at an angle. Okay. So I drag it down just a tad, and then I go in and I blend, 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 and work it in. And I'm being real gentle, okay? Because that's a darker color, so I don't want it to be too dramatic. Now remember, on the other side, if you do not have a darker powder, I'm going to show you how to do it with a darker foundation or a creamy concealer, because I'm going to use a concealer. And you see me blend up here because I also come and I contour around my hairline. I got a big forehead, guys, so I use contouring to kind of shave down that forehead. Okay, so I blend, 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 and I'm very careful to not go past where my cheekbone ends. See? Okay. Okay, and so the other side. So I blended it. And I don't go past where the apples of my cheeks are when I blend down. I do, but only when I'm pregnant. And I won't be pregnant no more. Okay. And so the other side. I haven't set the under eye yet because I'm about to play with another cream. This is another e.l.f. Concealer, ladies. And yeah, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, just with the cream. So, find that bone, do that smile, take it, drag it on down, pop, pop, pop. This time you can use your stipple, okay, or your beauty blender. I'll use my beauty blender, okay. So I take it, can't use that side with powder on it, Kimmy. And I do the same thing from the other side. I'm careful to blend, but not go past the bottom. And this thing, y'all can use all sides of it, okay? And I'm not going past the apple. You see that? Okay, I'm gonna keep blending. Don't keep blending. Okay. Right. Now, check your eyes to make sure there's no creasing because we've let this concealer sit over here for a minute. So check it. If you got a crease going on, turn that beauty blender over, and dab it. Or take that concealer brush and make sure you brush it in. I'm going to add a little more because it kind of dried all the way in over there. Okay. And sometimes I go really light with my concealer. I'm just not for the sake of keeping it looking natural and not so dramatic. Okay. We almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. And then once we have blended that, now we're going to take it and set it with a little bit of translucent powder. If you do not have translucent powder, you can use a dab of your natural powder color. It's not going to hurt. It's just that the translucent sets it before we do the complete powder with your complexion. Okay. And I'm going to do this same thing on this side of the nose, but I told you I was going to show you with a brush. So I'm going to take this small brush. You can use an eyeshadow brush, whatever you have. And I'm going to do the same thing over here on side of my nose. This brush smells good. I don't know what I washed this with. It smells really good. Okay. And see, I'm not using a whole bunch, but you also see that it's kind of framing and tapering my nose. Okay. Because it's getting us ready for that nose contour. Alright, alright. So, I like to let it sit or bake. And this is just me because I'm an oily girl. I'm going back over my little oil spots. So I'm a little anal. We'll just leave it there. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Okay. Okay, so while that's sitting, quote unquote baking, I like to go ahead and do my bottom eyeliner. And then I'm going to go into the contour of the nose. So I like to put white eyeliner on the bottom. It makes the eyes pop, especially when you have small eyes. So if you have colored eyes, it pops out the color in your eyes. It's like super duper dope, okay? I'm going to do one eye with the white liner on the lash line only. And then I'm going to show you how I put it on one eye and put black around it and how it really, really makes it pop out and be bold, okay? Excuse me, I really have bad burping. I'm so sorry. So instead of using my finger, I take the tail end of a brush and I hold that lash line down. And I'm very generous with how much white I put on because I really like it. And it gives just a little pop. And then over this eye, I'm going to do the white. And then I'm going to do the black on the inner and the outer so you can just see how much drama it gives. So outer and inner. And you'll be able to see it a whole lot more once I dust this powder off. Okay? So after I'm done with that, then I go into contouring my nose. You could totally contour your nose with a beauty blender. But I really like to be really, really, really on the money with contouring because if you do it crooked, your nose looks crooked on pictures, okay? And so I'm using that napkin, that same dirty napkin, and I just flipped it over a bit, ladies, and I'm wiping off the brush that I use for the purple just because I like the size of it, because you want something that can really fit in this area, okay? And I'm going to do, because I've already set it here, instead of using a cream, I'm going to use a powder, okay? And I'm just going to go with that same powder that I used to do this side of my face. Something darker. And let me show you this. If you do not like to contour your nose, just take a highlighter of your choice or a lighter powder, because I don't know how your palette is. I have different color powders. And just take it and run it up the middle of your nose. You don't even have to contour. When you add a lighter powder or a highlighter with a little shimmer there, it's like a natural nose contour because it highlights it. And then your natural skin color is kind of the contour. But for teaching purposes, let's go with this. And again, I rubbed it in the powder. And I dust off if I think it's going to be any excess. When I do the contour, ladies, I like to start with the inside of the brows, okay? It helps it, it makes it easier, number one, and it helps it to look more natural, all right? So just watch me right here. I start up here, and I'm not even applying anything. I'm just laying the brush. And then I come down. And the reason I told you to put that powder there is because that powder kind of gives a guide, okay? And I'm just going to do it again. And I'm going really light. I'm not even like dragging. I'm just barely doing it. Okay. It's a little darker. And I'm going to do the same to the other side. I hope y'all following along. Same thing over here. Starting the inside of the brow. Ooh, I had a little too much on that one. And I just bring it on down. And I'm going right in between my nose and where I put that powder. I see it kind of taking shape. I did this side a little darker, so I'm going to go over here. And if you do it a little darker, take that beauty blender or that stipple brush and just wipe it off of there. You don't have to go with it darker. I kind of like it a little darker. Okay. And I come all the way down to the bridge of my nose. The new age way is they take it and they go across the nose. I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not trying to do our faces for magazine photo shoots. We just, everyday beauty is just doing a little bit of enhancement. Okay. So every now and again, I'll, look at it, assess it. If it looks natural enough, I'll leave it alone. If it looks a little too much for you, take that same brush and just brush it into right up under the bottom, right there. Okay. I take a powder brush. Powder brushes can be tapered and small. Powder brushes can be big and angled. Powder brushes can be fat and wide. This is what you would do your full face powder with, okay? I like to stick with this one because it gets into certain creases. So after I do my contour, I like to take this and I kind of just run down because I want to blend it. I don't want it to be bold. And then some days I do. Some days I want it to be bold. Like, yeah, I contoured today and you see it. But a lot of times I don't. So I'm just blending it in. And I'm barely tapping, ladies. Like, look, just tap, 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 tap. Because I don't want to mix it. I'm just blending. And then after I do that, I'm going to do one or two things. I'm going to take my powder color. In my case, I have some lighter powder colors. But I'm going to take, just for the sake of this, the powder color that I use to do the rest of my skin. And I use my finger. You can use a small brush if you want to. I take my finger. And I start like in the middle of my eyes. And I run it down. Just to fuse it together. That's what you do if you don't like highlighter. I like highlighter on my nose, but not too much. So I take this. This is Wet n Wild. I wore this to one of my friend girls' house, and she was like, "Oh, you glowing!" And I'm like, "Girl, for $3.99." This one is by Fergie. You know, Fergie that was with I think it's the Black Eyed Peas or something like that. But yeah, and I still take my finger, and I start like in the middle of my eyes. And I run it down. Because I want you to see it. And then I like to focus really right here. Like, boop. Y'all see that? Okay. Alright. Alright. So now, we've done the contour. Boom. Powder. Boom. Cream. I can blend this one in a little more. It's standing out a lot. Woo, but it looks so good. It's so dramatic. Jesus. Okay, before I blend this part in, that same powder or whatever powder you have, if it's a little lighter, I like to take it and I run right up under my contour. Okay, just lightly. Y'all see how lightly I'm doing it? Just barely. Okay. If you don't have lighter powders, you can also use like an eyeshadow. That's a little lighter. And I'm gonna run it right up on our contour. Real light, because I don't want it to be too bold. I do, but you don't. Okay? You see it just made it jump out just a tad more. See? Really over here. Alright. Once I do that, I take a powder brush. I like my tapered one. You can use one a little bigger. Okay? What I'm about to do now is take this product that's been sitting here and baking, and I work it in. So I'm going to work it in over here. Okay. Work it, work it, work it. All up in here. And you see I'm pressing it, right? I'm pressing it in the skin. So I'm going to press it on this side. And see what it did on the side of their nose? It helped with that contour. Y'all see that contour stick out? Yeah, I don't know why I love contours and highlights. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm blending it over here. Just working it in. I'm going to show y'all what it looks like when you work it in. And then over here, I'm going to dust it. Okay? Just want you to see the difference. Whoop. Whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. See how I didn't blend as well? That's why I like to just bake it on in. Okay? So we're going to press it in, press it in, press it in, press it in. I lost my powder over here on this side of my nose, but I'm going to press it in, press it in, press it in, press it in, press it in. I did not forget about the bottom. I'm going to go and just lightly dust that off. And y'all, we haven't even put our full powder on yet, and like the face is coming to life. Okay? So I'm going to come and brush it in right here where we did an extra highlight. Okay. I think I like it. All right. And then this makes a huge difference. Right up under our eyes here, we have this little extra piece of fat. Protects the bottom lid, lash line. And I like to put one of those same eyeshadow colors that we used right there before I put the complexion powder to complete the look, right? Okay. So I find a brush that's really thin. Or you could go back to using that same concealer brush. Just wipe it off. Alright? Because you just need something small and fine that'll go right up under that lash line. And I go back to one of those darker browns. I think I'm going to use this one. And it adds a little more depth to the eye, as well as cover that little under eye skin. Okay? So I'm going to go from my lash line to right up under where that crease stops. And it kind of helps eliminate it. Like, make it look like it's not there, or it's not as bold. And you can do black. Just don't string the black all the way along. I sometimes just do black in the corners. And it just, I'm telling you, it just gives this depth to the eyes. For my birthday, I did black all the way across. But that was because I was going for a specific look, and it worked well with what I wore. But I wouldn't do that going to work or on a date. And the reason I use powder is because liquid liners on the bottom tend to smudge and smear. And even if you cry, powders don't run. Y'all see that? See what it did? See the difference? Okay. I'm going to do the other side. Okay. And remember, this eye over here has eyeliner on it too. So that's another reason why it's kind of intense. Because remember, we did the black on the inside, black on the outside. And then for this eye, we only did white liner only. And you can use any liner of your choice. I did a teal blue recently, and I posted it to Facebook, and it looked good. But I wouldn't wear teal blue all the time. I wear white all the time. And y'all see I'm just going right up under that eye fat. Okay. After I've done that, I like to pop a little glow on the inner tear duct. You don't have to. You don't have to. It just goes well with some looks. And I'm going to just take that same brush, because I want you to know that your brushes are multi-purposed. Wipe that same brush off on a piece of napkin or a wet face wipe. I'm going to put it in the corners with my highlighter. And I'm just going to pop it right here. Oh, baby, I have one by the crayon case called Anguilla. Hoo-cha. Anguilla. Anguilla make you glowla. All right. Now we're about to move on to blush and full face powder. Okay? Y'all ready? Let's go. All right. So, we've highlighted, we've contoured. I know I didn't blend my nose in yet because I like it to sit there. So when I finish it and I take pictures, it's just like that nose, okay? But before I move on to doing the complete powder, another thing I do to my brows before I finish my face is I go back over them and I brush them up to make sure that they did not move. Oh, they look good. They look good. And then when I discovered that they did not move, I like to take a clear mascara and put it over my brows. It just sets them in place. I have clients who only come get their eyebrows done by me, and I set them in place. And I'll setting spray on them too sometimes, but they'll wear them for 2 and 3 days. They'll clean their entire face and just don't touch the brows. They have brow pomades and things, brow setting gels, all of that. That's cool. They have them in different colors. I've tried some of them. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't, because it makes the brow look cakey, but clear mascara does not. This is what I used to give my daughter to put on her brows just to brush it up and give it an arched look before she was a teenager. But I use the clear mascara. So I just literally just dip it in. And this one may have been about $2 or $3 because I'm sure it's by... If it's by NYX, I paid a little more. But if it's just the regular beauty supply, like Ruby Kisses, Nika K brand, it may have been $1.99, $2.99. It's just clear mascara. And I take it and I just brush over my brows in the same direction in which they grow. And I also put the pencil on them. And like I say, it just sets them in place. You can sweat and dab your face when you're on the dance floor or at the barbecue or wherever. And they will stay there a little longer than they would if you didn't set them. And again, I'm an oily girl. So I'm always trying to find ways to keep my stuff in place for a longer period of time and not have a bunch of product on my face. I just can't stand it, y'all. Just can't do it. Just can't do it. Okay. Okay. So while those are doing that, I am going to apply the complete face powder. Again, I've introduced the No More Blemishes by Ruby Kisses. I showed y'all the contour one. They have the mineral powder set. I use those. And then this was the first one. This was like the old school one. Y'all listen. Again, I don't knock big brands. I have big brands in the kit. But this stuff right, look at it. This stuff right here, I mean, just for $5, it's just, it's the bomb. I mean, I just don't know what to tell you. Don't listen to me. Spend that $5, and if you don't like it, then you only spend $5, okay? So I take it, and I go round and around and around and around. And I dust off my excess, and I come under my eye, because that translucent powder will kind of give a washed out ash look. And so when you come on top of it, it still looks lighter. It doesn't completely wash it away. Or let me rephrase that. It still gives you that high lit look, but it don't look like the regular color, because again, it kind of took away the color of your foundation, because even though it's clear, it's still a white base powder. Now, I'm gonna show y'all when I want to be extra. Not that you have to do this. I have a palette over here. I don't remember where I got it from. I'm gonna say I might have got it from Five Below. But if you go too far, like I just did with your highlight, see? Now, I'm extra, y'all. I like going this far. But if you don't, take that same brush you contour with and just contour where you went too far. I got this palette from Five Below. And I spend a lot of money on makeup. Whether I buy the big brands or not, I spend a lot of money because I'm always trying stuff. But I come in here, and I go a little lighter, even lighter than my natural powder. Because some days I just want my highlight to be like, whoa there. I want you to know. I want you to see it. So now that I finished putting the complexion powder under my eyes, I take the powder again, and we're going to complete the rest of the face. Okay, so everywhere that we did not contour, okay, so right up under that contour, and you see I'm pressing, okay, and then when I did that, you see how I popped the contour out just a little more. Okay, now don't go over your contour, but go right at the bottom and then just kind of blend it in with your foundation or your complexion powder. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. See it? And if you have bigger cheeks, it's okay to go down just a little further, but just don't go too far past where that brow bone stops. Because like I say, when I'm pregnant, I have to I have to really do some extensions. Okay. Okay. Then I'm gonna go around my mouth. See? Usually I put foundation on my lips too, y'all. I just didn't do it today. Okay. And then I'm gonna go here in the middle of my eyebrows. I'm not going on my nose yet because remember I got that highlighter there and I contoured. And then I'm going to go right here where I highlight. And then just a little bit above my forehead. Now I didn't contour my forehead. But I'm going to do that because I would normally. And it's big. So back to that dark powder. Tap, tap, tap. And I go right at the hairline. And I just softly stippled it there. Okay. So yes, you'll get makeup in your hair if you have baby hairs. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Oh yes, honey. Okay. And then I'll take my brush again and just kind of blend in because I just did a major transition. Now after I do that, I'm not a blush girl. I'm not, but I'm going to add some for y'all, okay? So after I set everything with my complexion powder, I'll go ahead and set it. And I ain't scared. This one is Piercelant's Coconut and Rose Makeup Setting Spray. It was a gift from a friend. I think she got it from Ulta. And it's a face oil that goes with it as well. And I only use it in the summertime because it like give you this dewiness. Another thing that you can set with is this is my stuff. This is Mario Badescu. You can also start your face in the mornings after you clean it, right before you moisturize. It just kind of wakes up the skin. I spray my teenager with it just to give her like a healthy glow because she doesn't need makeup. So Mario Badescu, and if you want to be dewy and not matted, this is some good stuff. It's like aloe, herbs, and rose water. I tell you, no joke. So while my face is setting, I will go ahead and do my lips. I have gotten into overlining, which basically means that you line outside your natural lip line. So watch me. I'm using the same brown that I use to do my brows because it works well. If you're doing a colored lip, you can use a pencil darker than whatever color. So if you're using a pink and you want to use like a darker pink or a hot pink, go for it, sis. And I still sometimes line with the colors too. So I'm going right up under. If you mess up, like I sometimes do, get you a thin brush. Y'all know me. I'm going to wipe this brush off because I'm going to show y'all that you can keep using it. Get you a thin brush. Put it in that good old foundation. And just clean it up. And when I wear reds, I clean up anyway, just to make it stand out more. Okay, so I'm overlining. I'm going a little above where my line is. Okay. And then I come in and do a heart, or just kind of dip it in. Some people have natural Cupid's bow. I have to draw my Cupid's bow in. Okay. Now, I have a big bottom lip, but it's just something about overlining these lips that I've fallen in love with. So I don't even care that I have a soup cooler. Okay. So it's overlined. And to make that Cupid's bow stand out a little more, I take my highlighter and no offense with this finger, okay? I just kind of did a little of the highlighter in the Cupid's bow. See it? Alright. So I told y'all I don't wear blush. I'm going to, I don't even think I bought any blush in here with me. I didn't. I have just a few colors of blush. But let me tell y'all what I do with my palette, with my eyeshadow palette. I use eyeshadow as blush when I wear it sometimes. Because sometimes I just can't find the blush color that I like, but it's in my eyeshadow palette. So, I'm going to take my blush brush. I'm wiping off the contour. Because again, I didn't use enough to even make a mess on my brush. I'm sorry. But I'm going to wipe off my brush. And because I have this purple shadow on, it's this taupey pink here. I'm dipping it in. I'm going to show you ladies what it is. It's like a pinkish color right here. I'm just going to add a little bit of it to the apples. And I'm just going to blend it a little on top of that contour. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, that's kind of cute. Okay. So just a little bit. And if you're ever curious about what colors go with what, just look up a color wheel. Same color wheel that people use to paint houses and do in-home decorating. It works for makeup. Okay, girl. Okay. Eyeshadow, blush. Okay. And then, I know I'm still letting my nose sit, and I don't let my highlight sit on my lip before I do my lip color. I like to take my fan brush, or I have a smaller stipple brush. Just anything that I can have real control over. And I am going to take my highlighter, and I'm going to go right on top of the cheek. Can y'all see it? Y'all see it? Boop, 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 boop. And I just do a fan motion. Do it to the other side. I typically don't go past my brow unless I'm just trying to be extra. And then I take this fan brush or a stipple, and I do my chin, and then I do right in the middle of my head. You see, I'm just, I like it, I like it, I like it. Okay, I'm getting too excited. And if you're feeling really, really, you know, extra papa pretty, you can take a brush and go right up under your brow line and just blend it down a little bit. So right there, blend it down. You notice I did not go past where my arch is. Just a little bit. And just blend it down. Not enough to cause a scene. Child. Okay, now we're going to do the lips. Believe it or not, I don't use lipstick all the time. I will line my lips and then color my lips in with a pencil of whatever color, color I choose. Sometimes I go on top of it with a lipstick. Majority of the times I don't. But since I am teaching you guys and I'm feeling real cutesy whoopsie, I am going to use one of my favorite pencils. I don't know who this is by. I got it from Walgreens for sure. And it's like this pinkish taupe color. A lot of times I take pictures, I only put this on and some clear lip gloss, and it looks like the best nude lip in the whole wide world. So I'm going to draw it on so you can see it, and then I'll put some color on top. Look like I'm about to run out of it. And I remember when I bought it from Walgreens, it was only like $1.99. So when I run out, if I go back and they don't have it, y'all know my feelings going to be hurt, right? Okay. So I take it, and I don't like applying anything to my lips when they're wet. And I tell my clients too, girl, don't lick, don't lick. It's just a habit to lick when something is going on your lips. I've mastered it. And usually, like I say, I have foundation on my lips as well. So, I'm not going over my liner. And I learned this trick going to Astro World as a girl. The Caucasian girls, this is how they would color their lips in. So I know it looks real dry and matted. But this is kind of just serving as an undercolor right now because I'm not just going to do this in the lip gloss. I want to actually put a lip color on. But in most instances, I do this. I put the clear lip gloss on and just kind of rub it in. And if it's not blended, I take a lip pencil and blend it in. But I know it looks real chalkish right now. So let me put my color on. To go along with this purple eye, I wanted to, this is a gift from one of my besties. This is Mega Last Liquid Catsuit. This is a matte lipstick. I like mattes. I wore one last night for my class, but we're going to gloss that thing up tonight, okay? And so I go just over that. And I typically, when I do clients, I will do a pencil.
Give me a whole shot. I see you doing your thing, girl.
I love you. Then bring it back. That was my uncle. So when I do my clients, I typically color on the lips with a color very close to the lip color they choose to keep the color lasting for a while. Whether they choose matte lips or gloss, putting a lip liner or color on the lips with a pencil before the lipstick just helps it last, okay? And so I did that color myself. Again, I'm not going over my liner. I'm going to blend that in with the lip gloss. And this matte go a long way, child. Okay. So y'all notice I didn't cover, because a lot of times, especially women of color, we'll put on lighter colors and it looks like we just ate powdered donuts because we don't properly line our lips and it kind of washes it away. That's the reason why I lined it, or I say to line it with a lip color. I thought I had a purple in here. So I'm not going to alter this dark because I'm going to show you how I blend it in, okay? But again, you can use a color close to the color that you're going to line your lips with as well. So just showing that, I'm going to use a lip brush. I'm showing that, and I also borrowed my baby clear lip gloss. Now, I do like Max lip glass and lip glosses. They're good. I don't have any problem with those. But I also like just regular old Ghetto Girl Beauty Supply lip gloss, vitamin E, coconut oil, long as it's clear. They have just showed themselves out with clear lip gloss. I just like it. I buy it for my baby because she likes to have her lip gloss popping all the time. And look at it. It's like dripping. It's so good though to lubricate your lips all the time with Vaseline or vitamin E. So watch how it does when I blend it in with the pencil. And I'm dragging with a little force because I want to blend it. I don't want to look like Selena back in the day when we lined our lips really hard. Young girls won't ever know nothing about that unless they bring it back. Okay, I'm squeezing a little more of it out because I don't want to put my lips on this. This doesn't belong to me. I actually don't even own any clear lip gloss in my makeup kit. It's in my professional kit, but not in my kit. But I'm going to get some when the beauty supply opens back up. So I borrowed it from Liberty. Okay. And I need to drag it because I'm going to blend it. Y'all see that? That's that whole Kim Kardashian vibe. You just got to know how to do it. Like, just line them, overline them, and blend it. I'm pleased with that. Okay. So after I'm done with those lips, now I do my mascara. So remember, I already said it. Typically, Kimmy will set it again because I'm shiny and I like my makeup to last. But the last thing I do is mascara. Why you do mascara last? I do mascara last because if you do it before now and you blink and it's not dry, you get it all on the bottom. And you've done so much work there, so why mess it up, right? So I'll go to the end. And you can see the tag on this mascara. It was the $1.99, honey, at the beauty supply. It is so equivalent to one of them Maybelline ones or something that I used a while ago. And the thing about this brand is they have, this one is Super Volume. And they have the one for length. They have the one for, let's see, volume. You have length. Y'all have like 3 or 4 of them. Okay? So, I put it on my lash line and I pull down. And if you want your lashes to be really full and dark, you can let it dry and go back over it. Or put a little bit of powder on them first and then do your mascara. Because then it has something to hold on to. The powder is on the lash and it'll make it look really intense and fake. And I've been asked about my bottom lashes all the time. Like, do you wear bottoms? No, they're very uncomfortable. Alright. There's nothing else that I would do to change this face. Usually I gotta tweak it and I gotta play with it. Nah, I'm good. I'm real good. I'm real good. And this, my sweethearts, from start to finish, a whole 2 hours is how I complete my face. From plain and clean to a little bit of va-va-voom, little pow. Okay? Highlighting and contouring does not have to be complicated. Just remember to place things where they belong. Highlight means to highlight it. Contour means to shadow it and kind of bring it down or, cinch it in a little bit. Make it appear smaller. Every now and again, let me just do this to show you guys. Every now and again, I will contour under the chin and the cheek. The jawline, I'm sorry. Just to give it an extra strongness to it. You see that? I'll just run it right up under there. But other than that, I think this is good. So I appreciate you again for your time. I thank you for supporting and blessing my small business. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Tell your sister, tell your cousins and your mom and all of them. And again, I just really appreciate it. If there's anything that I can do to assist with product details, just hit my line. You can call me, you can text me, you can DM me, or you can email me, however. And yeah. I appreciate you. I prayed in, so let's pray out. Dear God, I thank you. I thank you for blessing us. I thank you for blessing me with the talent. I thank you for placing beautiful people in my lives that believe in my life, that believes in me, sometimes more than I believe in myself. Thank you for allowing them just the time to just spend this 2 hours with me. They could have been doing anything else, but they chose to sit here with me. Lord, thank you for protecting us all through this pandemic. And I pray many blessings in everyone's life. In Jesus' name, amen. Bye.